Let me give you a quick overview of our latest live stream, which is all about displaying error pages and printing variables in Drupal CMS. Now, I'm sure this has happened to you. You have deployed on a Friday afternoon, because we all do it, and then you go to the home page or you go to some page and you get this, the website encountered an unexpected error. Now, what do you do? Well, the first thing you need to do is see what the error is. And a quick way of doing that is by just coming to logging and errors and then selecting one of these options, such as all messages or all messages with backtrace information. If we click and save and refresh, we can see a bit more information about exactly what is the problem. Now, of course, I purposely broke this page, but now I know exactly where to go to fix it up. But there are better looking error pages we can use. And the first one comes with WebProfiler. Now, WebProfiler is a nice little toolbar that you get down at the bottom, but it also gives you a nice looking error page. And if you click here, you can see all of the methods, and you can also see the stack trace by clicking on the stack trace button, and you can switch over to dark mode. If you want to use another error page, you can use Ignition, which I believe is a library and it's used by the Laravel project. And this is what it looks like. And one thing I do like about this is that it actually shows you the code that's causing the problem. And if you scroll down, you do get a bit of information down there as well. Then we took a look at how to print variables in Drupal. So here, if I go to the home page and I jump over to my code editor, I can throw in the dump function and just pass the arrays variable into dump. And what it's going to do is it'll display it up the top here, and I can even drill down and see what is available. Now, you do have another option, and this all comes with Drupal. If you type in DD, this is dump and die, and that will essentially print it out and then stop the request from going further. So essentially dump and die. Now, the Devel module comes with a few options as well. So what we can do is let's jump over to here and we'll use DPM. What that essentially does is that it displays the printed variable in the message region on your Drupal site. So anywhere you see little messages such as thank you for submitting the form, it will appear there. And that is useful because sometimes if you use these functions, depending how customized your front end is, it can be hard to see things because it's kind of squashed into the design. This just makes it easier to see and it displays it nicely. Then there's another module called Kint. Now, Kint used to be part of the Devel module, and it uses the Kint library to print out information about the variable. And once you install it, what you can do is come to the Devel settings, and instead of using Symfony var dumper, just select Kint. And you can still use the same functions, such as DPM, but if we come here and refresh, instead of getting the Symfony var dumper, we get Kint. And this gives you a lot more information. You can drill down, and if you view a object, you can see all the properties, methods, and if you click on this icon right here, it'll show you the path to it, and I believe you can even search for things as well. But just be aware that the responsiveness of the site is a little slower if you are using this library, because there's a lot happening in the back end. Now, every single time I talk about how to print variables, I always get comments saying just use Xdebug. And yes, if you have the opportunity, you should be using Xdebug. Now, Xdebug does a lot of things, but we're just going to focus on the step debugging. Now, luckily for us, DDev, which is the environment that I'm using, has Xdebug already installed. And all you need to do to set it up is type in DDev Xdebug on, or Xdebug off if you want to turn it off. And I do recommend that if you aren't using it, just have it off because the site will be snappier and faster. But if we do switch it on and jump over to VS Code, let me just comment this out and jump over to a bit of custom code here. And if I add my breakpoint there and I come over here and switch it on, now VS Code has been configured to always run the DDev Xdebug on command when you switch it on. And if I jump over to my page, here is my controller and refresh, straight away, we can see that the debugger has picked up the breakpoint, and here on the right-hand side, and here on the left-hand side, we can see all of the variables. And I do believe the stack trace is right down here. And if we click on step over, we can step through our code. Now to finish the request, we can just click on the play button and then we can turn it off. And we can do the same in PHP Storm. So let's jump over to PHP Storm. All we need to do is put a breakpoint in, and you want to turn on the listener up the top here. And we'll also make sure that Xdebug is switched on, and then go to our awesome controller, refresh, and you can straight away see that PHP Storm has picked it up. So we have the stack trace on the left, variables on the right, and we can just make our way through the code. So if you are using DDev as your local environment, then I'd highly recommend that you use Xdebug. Setting it up in VS Code is pretty straightforward, and there is documentation on the DDev site. But using it in PHP Storm is relatively quick and easy. I believe they call it zero configuration or something. It most of the time just works. So if you want to learn all about this, check out our latest live stream, which is all about displaying errors and printing variables in Drupal CMS. And as usual, I have added in modules and also links. And here is the actual documentation page on setting things up in PHP Storm and VS Code. And as usual, I have added in the chapter markers. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment.